All right, all right. Welcome. Thursday night deal analysis underwriting call. Step 1 into your real estate journey. I felt compelled to start this call today with a reading from just this book real quick. It's one quick paragraph. So, I don't know, take it as you will. So this is on beginning again. In any given moment, the universe is primed to give us new life, to begin again, to create new opportunities, to miraculously heal from all things, including headaches, to change darkness to light and fear to love. God's light shines eternally clear, untarnished by our illusions. Our job is to take a deep breath, slow down, surrender all thoughts of past or future, and let the Spirit shine forth in our awareness. God is not daunted by our nightmares of guilt. He is ever awake to how beautiful we are. He made us that way, and so it is. So, a lot of people coming onto this call are new to real estate or wanting to take their real estate game to the next level. So, beginning anew, be here in a way that you're going to get some value out of it. Right, because we're going to go through the first, I believe this is the first step to understanding and being in the real estate game fully, is to learn how to tell the difference between a good deal and a bad deal. And it isn't just running numbers, it's actually putting together the pieces of the puzzle that is the real estate game. Because most people see through only having one piece of the puzzle, right? Maybe somebody has done single family once or single family a couple times. And I know I was at some point, I thought, man, I know everything there is to know about real estate because I've done a bunch of single families. And boy, was I wrong. Like, I'm wrong about a lot of things that I think I know. The only thing that I know is that I don't know a lot of stuff. So from that space, um, hopefully today we'll uncover more pieces of the puzzle. On these calls, we'll talk about things, everything from debt to getting a deal under contract to submitting an offer to talking to brokers, how to underwrite deals, how to be able to quickly get through to see if this is a deal worth more investment in time. And then also, if we get to some certain points, there will be negotiations of deals. And I've asked somebody to bring on a deal today just to give an example of what that would look like. And so before we get to that, I do want to invite everybody. Nick, can you put the Mighty Networks link thing again for people to um, register? We are going to be taking this call to the next level, which on Saturdays at 8 a.m. PST, so 11 EST or EDT, whatever you want to call it. We will have a panel. Myself and a couple of my colleagues will be judging deals. Well, we will. It's called the Deal Tank. No, not that link. Like, to actually register on the sheet,
Oh,
the
okay.
Google Doc sheet. So just when we're ready, we're gonna send an email out to you guys to invite you guys for this Saturday. And basically it's gonna be it's like Deal or No Deal plus Shark Tank. And the goal really is to teach the community how to underwrite deals, give examples of people underwriting it, give you an opportunity to pitch a deal in front of my colleagues who I deem are qualified to decide if a deal is good or bad. Right? They have a lot of experience. He owns about 14 hotels right now. So he'll be able to look at it from a different perspective. And then my buddy does a lot of real estate over in San Diego. So it's going to be me and these two guys. We are going to be evaluating a couple deals that will be pitched on there, and we want to invite everybody to it and join the community from that space. So we'll bring that up and we'll show it. Nick's going to put the Google Doc registration link in the chat. So we hope that you guys can attend. I think it's going to be a lot of value, and I think it's also going to be really big one day, right? I think my plan and my vision for it is to bring some of the big players, Grant Cardone, Brad Sumrock, Vina Jetty, have them be celebrity panelists and have some good deals being pitched on that day and have them critique it. And that will be interesting, right? And it'll be interesting to see what, these big teachers and mentors and gurus in the game, they don't really share the same space. So if I could bring them onto a call and see how they take on different things, because I know a simple question of should we buy real estate right now, there's different answers. And I would like to even see what they would say, about deals and things like that. So that's the vision for the future. But for now, you guys will have to settle for me and my colleagues. We have, for anyone that is new, I've been doing real estate for 18 years, and now moving into when and where, please. So there's a link in the chat right now that has you register, and we're going to be doing it every Saturday. We're going to be moving this community into an online community that I'm building, and it'll be really cool. People can talk about deals together on there, almost like a Facebook. But there'll be a chat. There's going to be, a lot more things on there. You'll see the events and everything. So it'll be a really cool community. I'll share the vision as it continues to be built. Nick, you got to share the link again. Other people came in late, I believe.
Alrighty.
So definitely check it out. It's going to be really fun, and I think it'll be really cool. And to be a part of something on the ground up, you guys are special, and you will see the beginning phases of what I believe is going to be something really, really big. All right. And if you guys know me, you know that I always love bringing people with me on the journey. I love lifting people up. I want to get people to the same level as me so that we can do deals together. So just a little bit more about my past and my track record. I bought my first triplex when I was 24 years old. And then I got a little too confident. I thought I knew it all, that I could do real estate and buy 2 restaurants at the same time. I was like, wow, look, I made it. I got a triplex. My property is, it's paying for my living. It's paying for my car. I'm financially free. Then they built a Whole Foods next to my place. And then all of a sudden it went from 200,000 to 600,000 in value. And I'm like, okay, well, let me take some equity out. And instead of continuing in real estate, I went and bought 2 restaurants, which I have no idea how to run. And I'm super young, just out of college, ran into the ground, of course, lost everything, lost my house, and had to start over. Now, I was able to make a big comeback 6 years ago in real estate. I've always been like, yes, real estate is what I want to do. And, I went to a conference, learned how to do partnerships. I had no money. My credit was shot. And I did my first 3 deals without putting any money in. And I didn't really have that much experience at that point, but I did know how to underwrite and analyze deals. And I'm very good at telling stories and convincing people to invest money with me. So I've always had that skill of being an enroller and telling stories. That I'm not going to teach on this, but hopefully you can pick up some things along the way. Yeah, so I did the first 3 deals like that, where people brought the money. They had to go through the mortgage company to get approved as well. I didn't do any of that. I just said, I got a great deal. I'll find the deal. I'll run the deal. You put the money up. You put the credit and everything up, and we buy the property, and all profits will be 50-50 split. And this is my projections of what it looks like. Bam, just created all that. And so 3 people believed in me. They invested. We killed it. Went on and did a second one with everyone. Then they referred other people to me. And very, very quickly, I built it up. Now, wherever you guys are in terms of, wherever your financial situation is, at that point, when I restarted back up, I was $450,000 in debt. My credit score was less than the 420. Okay, I didn't even know that was possible. It was less than the 420. I lived in a 175 square foot utility closet in Pompano Beach. I had packed up from New Jersey, moved to Pompano Beach, and was like, yep, starting my life over. I screwed everything up over there. And actually, there is somebody on this call that has witnessed me through that journey, which is Jake. He is a fraternity brother of mine. He actually has a deal today that we're going to look at. But he witnessed me going from my fraternity house, being, a bro, to buying my first property, then to opening up 2 restaurants, then to shutting them all down and moving to Florida. And then all of a sudden, uh, here I am. And he's like, whoa, how'd you get here? So feel free to share any of that journey. And I'm not exaggerating any of that. Like, that's exactly what happened. And today I have under my management over 800 units of real estate. So 6 years, I was able to do that. Now, if you follow me and you learn from the things that I teach, you should be able to do that in less than 6 years. And I don't know if anybody is even in the position that I was in at that point, but because I knew how to analyze and underwrite deals, because I had confidence in myself because of all the hours that I put in, right? So confidence comes from knowledge, and comes from experience. Now, I had the experience of failure. That's a great teacher. It has taught me to be very, very careful with my money, very, very careful with my investors' money. And, because I don't want anybody to ever feel like what I was feeling then. Right. It was really, really challenging. And, I even thinking about those days, I'm like, wow, like life is amazing. There's nothing that can happen in my life today that, knocking on wood, that would make me feel like that again. I know I've been there. I've been to the bottom, and now, I just want to share it. I want to relieve this. I don't want people to end up in that same place, right? And worse than that, I would say, is to be stuck in a dead end hamster wheel type of thing, right? Where you're just getting by and you've created a certain lifestyle that you don't want to give up. And because you don't want to give it up, you keep doing the things every single day that you don't even want to do. I think that might be worse than me being at rock bottom and finding myself there, right? And soul searching and then coming back. So, I think from that place, like, that's where I teach from. Right? I teach from a true desire to want to help people um, be better with their financials, be able to move and make the right decisions, right? Open our minds and open our hearts to new possibilities. And so underwriting is the basics. It's the basics, it's the fundamentals. There's never enough times that you can practice underwriting. A lot of people begin like, yeah, I know underwriting is what I got to do. You analyze a couple deals and you think you know it all already. Because that was me. I know. Right. But being on these calls constantly, there will be new things, new ideas, and new possibilities because on these calls, right, people have created business partnerships. People have done deals together, and it comes from calls like this. So I'm going to give it my all, and we're going to go over a deal today. Thank you for listening to my little story of my past. Now you guys get to know me a little bit, know me a little bit better, and where I teach from and where my heart's at. Right? Because I truly, truly, know where that rock bottom is in terms of financials and not knowing how to get out and serving from that place. Okay. So um thank you. And I did, so here's the thing. I didn't do it by myself. For a long period of time, I couldn't meet people. I felt like ashamed of of my, like, what happened to me, right? That I lost my real estate, I lost my restaurant, I lost my money, I felt ashamed because I was always like very high in life and very outgoing and excited about things. And during that period of time when I couldn't even pay for my cell phone bill, I have Verizon when I was in New Jersey. When I moved down to Florida, I had to get rid of Verizon And a friend of mine had to sign me onto their family plan for T-Mobile because I couldn't even get a phone line because my credit was so shot. And I didn't have anything. So I know what that's like. And and I got out of it. That's why I believe personally that I'm confident in what I can deliver for anybody here. Doesn't matter where you are financially, right? I can connect to any pains financially that you guys may or may not be going through and help you take it to the next level and get to where I am now and beyond. All right. So, whew, all right. That was a walk down memory lane. I'm like sweating thinking about that, thinking about where I was at that point in my life. Okay. So, Jake, do you want to kind of share some numbers about the deal that you found? I've asked people in my mastermind if they can share a deal that they've been working on, so that we can underwrite it, critique it here on this deal, and use it for the purposes of education. Okay, so in our mastermind right now, currently everybody is broken up into small groups and looking for deals. They have their own small group meetings, and we have kind of like a guideline of what to do. Right, look for deals. This is how you underwrite it, and then you bring it to our calls, and then we analyze it and we talk about it, and go back to the broker, ask for this, ask for that. And the new thing that we've added this week is we're gonna practice mystery shopping deals, because understanding how a deal runs, understanding what it takes to have good property management, mystery shop a class C deal, mystery shop a class A deal. And I'll send a checklist, like a scoring sheet, to all our group, and they get to rate the leasing agent and the property management and see what class C management looks like compared to class A. And then we will have the conversation about that when everybody reports back. So yeah. Sorry, how to join or know more about. So yeah, just sign up for that link, and we're gonna send out an email by tomorrow to give you the exact way to get into it on Saturday. It's gonna be free, so it's just gonna be a link in your email to kind of register and be a part of that community that we're building online. And we will be doing that call on Saturday, so it's gonna be fun. Okay, I'm gonna have, and every week I'll probably bring in another celebrity or somebody that I deem as an expert to be on the panel to analyze these deals. And it'll be a lot of fun. And I hope that this becomes something that's very beneficial and valuable for everybody. Okay. And hopefully deals get done in there, right? If a deal is so good, I have no doubt that it could be funded with the people, right? I bet in this room right now, if we got really committed, we can close a 100 unit deal if we were able to get on the same page and to really believe, and understand the process of how it works and how to do it. I have no doubt in my mind. I'm just looking at a couple people in here. I know that we can do a 100 unit deal in this space, right? And I don't want to do it by myself. I could probably do it, but I want people with me. I want people with me because I don't want to do 100 units. I want to do 1,000. I want to do 10,000. And the only way I can do that is if I have partners and I have people that know what I know and more. Okay. So, hey, Jake, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, there you go. Look, he's actually wearing the Top Gun outfit. What is that? That's not a Top Gun outfit. What is that? It looks like it.
Yeah,
Every
yeah, yeah.
every time the Top Gun song goes, the Danger Zone comes on, and your picture's right there. I'm like, damn, that should be my picture.
All right. That's hilarious. Let me see what's going on. Sorry, I'm on my phone right now. So the deal that we have is located
Okay, you don't
I'm
have
just
to tell us
yeah,
exactly where it is and stuff.
nope.
Going through the numbers will probably work. Give me the situation, the scenarios.
Okay, so
And
the
so wait, let
asking
me let me let me
oh,
open
sorry.
my iPad real quick.
Yes.
I'll connect it to my
I should have threw
computer so
this.
you guys can see. Hey Nick, when my iPad is on, can you let people into the room because I won't be able to.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, give it to me. Tell me about the deal. How many units is it? How much is it?
So we got 9 units.
Oh, 9 units. Okay. 9
Yep,
units.
it's a Class B asset. The asking price is $2,995,000.
Whoa. So what? 2 million what? 900?
Yes.
All right. So let's just say 3 million.
Let's just say 3 million.
Okay. So $3 million for the deal. First thing you want to find out, okay, for when you're doing your underwriting is you want to know how much per unit that is, right? So that's very easy. You just do 3 million divided by 9. All right, so that's $333,000 per unit. So divided by 9 units equals 333K per door. And what you want to do is you want to look around in that area. Similar type of assets, single families, right? Compared to anything. If somebody was to come and live here or buy this property, what else could they buy besides your property? What would $3 million get them? What would $333,000 get them? Okay, that's your first gauge is to look at the price per unit and compare it to the market. Okay, that's going to be your first gauge because maybe you'll see, wow, single family properties, same thing, 2-bedroom, whatever, it's 500,000. Now you might already be more interested in this deal, right? And you look around and you're like, $3 million gets you like 5 units mostly, or gets you 6 units, something like that. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there, but this is how you want to compare. You do your first research is in price per unit, compare it. Now, if you're selling a property, it's the same thing, right? Don't let the broker tell you all this stuff. Know more than the broker, but don't show you know more than the broker. That's one advice I would say on both sides. When you're negotiating with a broker, know your stuff, but let them do the talking. Okay. Whoever does more talking is going to reveal more about themselves. And so you are collecting information. You're in the stage of collecting information, whether you're buying or selling, you're collecting information on who this broker is and what do they actually know. Right. So you want to don't hesitate to, don't be afraid to be like, all right, I'm going to work with somebody else. Interview a couple people, right? For our deals, every single contract, here comes Jake again. Okay. Every single contract that we do, every fix or anything that we do, we get three estimates. Okay. So you want to, if you're going to get a broker or if you're going to have somebody work for you, interview at least 3 people and use deals to be able to test their knowledge. Okay, so tell me more about the deal.
Okay, so let me see what we got here. Sorry, I have no idea what is on here. So what do we have here is, sorry, I was trying to get this ready. So they're telling us it's a 6.6 like a 6.7 cap.
Okay, so for those of you guys that don't know what a cap rate is your NOI, your net operating income divided by the purchase price, the price. All right, so that's how you find out what the cap rate is. Now, cap rates are a guidance. It's not the truth. All right, so they can say, hey, this is a 4 cap. This market demands a 4 cap. Well, it works for me based on the debt that I can get right now. I need it to be at a 5.5 cap. I need to be at a 6 cap. Now, the way you find the cap rates, okay, which you said it's what, 6.5 cap?
Yeah, 6.7.
Okay, 6.7. Now remember, cap rate equals NOI divided by price. Right now, what we have is we have the price and we have the cap rate. So without Jake telling me I can take 3 million and cap rates are really it's a percentage. Oh, what happened to my pen? It's a percent. It's a percentage, which is represented like this in a calculator. Okay. Little middle school math for us here. So you take 3 million and you multiply it, right? You want to get the NOI now. You have two of the three numbers by 0.067. Oops. So the NOI on this deal, they're saying is $201,000. Okay. If they're saying the cap rate is a 6.7, that means at $3 million, this deal should be generating after expenses $201,000. So wherever this is, one of the quickest ways you can do this is to see if they're bullshit or not, because most of the times they are. Okay, so I'm gonna run this. I'm gonna run this through, Jake, and you tell me how off I am, and then we'll be able to determine how full of crap the seller might be or the broker might be. Okay, so
All right.
let's take this number. Okay, usually we're gonna look at I don't know, 50% expenses is a good like conservative estimate. Unless you're in Florida or Texas, you may want to use 55% in today's market. But let's just use 50%. So 50%, so you divide this by not divided by 0.5. You multiply it by 2. So is it divided by? No. Yeah, divided by 0.5, okay, which will give you should be the gross income. Okay, hold on. My iPad is in a weird position. So your gross income should be double this NOI, which should be 402,000. All right, that should be your total gross income on this property, based on the information they've given me. Jake hasn't given me anything else yet, but 402,000, okay, divided by 9 units. 402,000 divided by 9 units. Okay, that means they're saying that each unit should generate 44,000.6 a year. So we're going to figure out what that is monthly. We divide it by 12. So divided by 12. Okay. Now sorry guys, my iPad's in a weird position, so I'm not very legible my writing. Each unit should generate somewhere between 3,722 and up, vacancies and all of that probably in there. But so Jake, do each unit generate $3,700 per unit?
On a monthly basis?
Yeah. How much do you think rent is for those units?
The rent should be around 1,600.
1,600. Okay, so let's look at their math now. Okay, so according to our conservative math, this is the number. Now, if this 3,700 matches up with the 1,600, then you know that, all right, there's potential in this deal because everything works about right. Now, maybe the expenses are a little high, but trust me, 9 units, you're going to have big expenses. All right, unless you're going to go and manage the whole thing yourself, which is not why we do real estate, but it could be yours. You may want to do that. You may want to find a job to do that. Okay, so 1,600 per unit times 9 units. Let's just say it's 90% occupied, times 12 months. All right, what's this number? Feel free to follow along. 1,600 times 9 units times 0.9 for occupancy rate times 12. So I'm getting $155,000. 0.5. That's their gross income. So if they're saying that this is a 6.7 cap rate, their gross income doesn't even make it to 6.7 cap rate. Now they're full of crap. You're like, yeah, if it's a 6.5 cap, 6.7 cap, I'll buy it. All right. So then you're going to say, well, what's their expenses? Maybe they're going to say 40%, something like that. Okay, we'll run it 40%. Let's see what it looks like. times 0.4. That means their NOI should be no more than $62,000 a year. 6.5 cap. Okay, that's my NOI. 62,000 divided by 0.067. That means I should be offering, if it's a true 6.7 cap, I should be offering you $925,000 for this property. Because you take 62,000 divided by the 6.7 cap, that's going to give you 925K. Now, if you got this deal for 925K, great. It's a steal. Go grab it and run. What I would say, be like, based on the math that you gave me, what we're buying this deal at is 62,000 divided by your $3 million. 3 million. 62,000. I'm buying this thing at a 2 cap. Ain't no way this thing is cash flowing. So already, if they won't budge, this is a deal that just goes by. You don't even spend any more time on it. Right now, this is like a simple, when you understand this, it's just a couple steps and it goes very fast. So recapping real quick. Recapping, this deal is 9 units. They want $3 million. It's $333K per unit. Okay, they're saying it's 6.7 cap, which I knew it was a lie, because that means each unit has to generate $3,700 per month, which it does not. It doesn't even generate half of that. So in order for it to be a $3 million and a 6.7 cap, it needs to have an NOI of 201,000. That means it needs to have a gross of like 400,000. What's considered a good cap rate? So let me just say, I'm sure they use Performa. Okay, they basically Performa and told you, you look deeper. They're like, oh, but you can Airbnb this and get 3,700 a month on this, and that's why we say it's 6.7 cap. You see,
Performa's 250.
They're what?
250K. That they're saying is their Performa.
Yeah. So terrible. Now, cap rate. What's a good cap rate? A good cap rate. You want to compare it to the like deals that are out there. What's the cap rate? And if you can get a higher cap rate, then great. Good job. But it's really up to you to offer. That's why people, people are in different places at different times. They have different reasons why they're selling. You might be able to get a good deal. Okay, so a good cap rate is something that is less or higher than your interest rate that you're getting on the deal. Okay, and we'll go over that here in a second. So the rule of thumb is that is your cap rate should be greater than the interest rate. All right, and we'll talk about that in a second here. Anybody, any questions? Okay, feel free to raise your hand and chime in if you have any. All right, now, if this is too confusing, I know it's a lot in the beginning, but you hear this 4, 5, 6 times, you're going to become a pro at doing this. Now, if you get a chance to do this live, be in the community, be in what we're doing, and getting to do this, be more engaged, you will absorb it and learn it much faster. You're no longer just learning concepts. Right now, it's concepts. Jake is having an experience around it because he's working with it. He's going to call the broker, talk to the broker, all of that. So experience, concept, they are miles apart. Having experience, you will learn it to your core. Having a concept, you will forget it tomorrow. It's hard to absorb because it's thoughts. There's too many thoughts going on. Okay. If there's no questions, I'll move on to the question that was asked in there, which is cap rate. So let's just use the same example and let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, the NOI is 201,000. Okay. And it is a 6.7 cap. All right. And it's $3 million. Now for this deal, let's say you got to put down 30%. You got to put $1 million down, right? Your down payment. So this is the scenario here. NOI, cap rate, price. Okay. So you have to put $1 million down for this deal, and you got a $2 million loan from the bank. Okay. Right now, let's use the example. So it's 6.7 cap, right? You got 201,000 for the NOI. If your interest on this deal is, I don't know, 7%. Okay. That means what is 7% interest? Okay. And this is just interest only. If you want to add principal to it, you got to add like 1.25 to that number. All right. Now, if you're getting interest only, $2 million at 7% costs you $140,000 per year. All right. Now, if it's with the principal, if you're getting it with the principal, 2 million times 0.0825, it's 165,000. So it's either 140,000 or 165,000 per year. All right. So your cap rate is lower. Okay. And you put this down, your cash flow is going to be 201,000 minus 165K, 201. So this is 36,000. You're going to have $36,000 in cash flow. This is called a cash flow. And you put $1 million down on this deal. So if you want to find the returns, which is the cash on cash, this is really what people care more about, is 36,000 divided by your down payment. Okay, this is your cash flow divided by the equity that you put down. So that's going to be what, a 3.6% return on this thing? Okay, so your cash flow is looking like 3.6%. Now, if you raise the money for this deal, unless you're not going to make any money on the deal by doing the work and putting all this together and raising the money from everybody and then running the deal, where's the split? How much can you possibly give to yourself and the investors on this deal? Right? Because your interest rate's so high. Your cap rate is below your interest rate. It's hard to make this deal work. Now, we put 30% down. What if we put less and we had higher debt? So there's something called a DSCR, which is the debt service coverage ratio. So let's do that real quick. DSCR. Okay, this is how a bank will qualify if you can do this deal or not. Okay, and this is why multifamily is great, because banks are telling you if the deal is good or not. If they're going to give you a loan, if you get a loan from Freddie Mae, a Freddie Mac or Fannie Mae, or some agency that has strict underwriting, they want 1.25 to 1.4 DSCR. What does that mean? That means your NOI divided by your debt service has to be one of these two numbers. If you have a lot more experience, maybe they'll do 1.25. If you got less, 1.4. Depends on their confidence in you now. That's the DSCR. So does this meet it? So you got 201K divided by 165K. Is it? I think it is. No, it's not. It's very close, but it's a 1.22 debt service. Now you're like, man, that doesn't work out. So either you're going to put more money, down so your debt is lower, right? You get a less amount from the bank, and 8.25 from that is less than 165. Then you can hit that number. Now, this deal is so good that the bank's like, oh, at 20% down, you hit the 1.4, then cool, that will work, right? So, any questions? I know this is a little bit confusing now. We went from, quickly looking at a deal to the cap rate to interest to DSCR getting a loan. Okay, if the deal is good. So right now, even at the 6.7 cap, based on the interest rate that they might get, it doesn't really work, right, on this deal. So this is your fast way of underwriting. Either you go back to the seller, tell them, hey, according to my underwriting that I did in 5 minutes, you don't have to say 5 minutes, but according to my underwriting, this deal does not work at this price for me. I can't have, such a low return. I can't have, the DSCR this time. I have to put more money down. That doesn't make this deal work. I'm already returning so little to my investors, right? So where are we about the deal, Jake? Are we, what do you guys think about, what do you love about the deal now? See, now it comes to, is this deal worth fighting for? Is it worth going into negotiation and more energies for? After hearing that, Jake, and how far off we are from where they are, what do you guys think about the deal?
So I actually visited this area today as well. It's probably 15 minutes from the beach. This property, the area is pretty solid. The cars around that neighborhood look good. No liquor stores that close. You got to go to the main highway. So the area looked pretty good. Definitely, like it wasn't like an area where you can really walk around. It's more like you drive 5 minutes and then you're in a walkable, like then you'll get to like some businesses, some restaurants, everything.
So okay, so so here's one of the things. When you drove by the property, how did you feel? Your
I
intuition,
felt okay.
just when you
I
saw
felt
the
okay about
property,
it.
were you like, whoa, this is a deal I definitely want to get?
Yeah, the fact that it's where it is in Hollywood, it's in between two golf courses, and it's honestly it's near this circle that's new to town, and it's like a really big popular bar area. Like the area is really nice. Like so I just like usually in South where we're looking at is a lot of these deals they don't underwrite. They're not cash flowing right away because they're like, oh, the value property is going to go up.
Oh yeah,
So
neither is this one. This one's not going to cash flow.
no, yeah, it's not going to cash flow.
Yeah.
But yeah, like so the area is good. Like I wouldn't like knock it off. But like, is it like you walk out of your house and it's like, oh, okay, like you can walk around for a casual walk, but there's no like you're not gonna walk to a restaurant. You're not gonna walk to, um, you know, uh, wherever, like just something cool. You
Mhm.
would have to like drive about 5 minutes,
Yeah.
and then you're at like the main strip of something, and it's pretty nice.
Gotcha. Okay. So you may or may not love the property. So for everybody, just a
Yeah.
little bit of background. Jake just started this real estate journey like maybe 2 months ago. All right. So like didn't know anything about real estate before this, about walking deals, about all of that. How many deals have you guys looked at? And now you're walking deals or driving deals.
Uh, this was probably the within when we started the group. This is probably like the fifth one now that
The
we've.
fifth one. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, so we can go. See, the goal here is to be able to sift through it faster. Like that's why we want to underwrite like this. We want to be able to look at the numbers, look at the deal, and if it's really like I really love it, I got it, whatever it takes to buy this thing, Then we will look at all the different pieces. You see, right now, what you guys are seeing is one piece of the puzzle. This is if we just went the traditional route, this is how a deal will look. And then, it's either going to work or it's not. Right. And the only move is to go and tell the seller to lower the price because interest rate says I can't buy this thing. Okay. And you just gave me a cap rate of a future projection, which isn't the truth. Okay. So DSCR and DS, debt service, is how much your debt costs you. How much is it to service that debt? So we found out up here that for $2 million at 7% interest with principal is going to cost us $165,000 a year. That's the debt service. Debt service coverage ratio is how much is this debt service covered by your net operating income, by the cash flow of the property, right? So again, so this is what you want to know. This is what DSCR is your net operating income divided by the debt service. So we knew up there before that NOI is this number, debt service is this number. We divided that into each other and we got 1.22, which does not meet the bank's or the lender's criteria of 1.25. So either you have to get lower interest rate, which you could buy, or you get the price lowered, or you put more money down so that you borrow less. Okay, so DSCR is, in commercial, when you have more than 4 units, this is really what they go with. In residential, they go with DTI, your debt to income ratio, because they're underwriting you. They're not underwriting the deal. They're just underwriting you. Now, it's much, much harder to go and get a single family property than it is to get multifamily. Okay. If you had the money for both, it is a lot easier to make a multifamily deal happen. The debt is better. It's safer. And, you get more units. You get 9 closings in one closing instead of 9 separate closings. And then also, what's the chances of you being able to buy 9 houses right next to each other? Like none, right? So yeah, you get them all in one place. To manage it is much easier to manage. Or if property paid in full, seller open to seller finance. Yeah, that's another way that we can look at it. It's very popular today. If instead of the bank lending you the money, can the seller lend you the money? Right? Now, if the seller has a debt, so you got to do the math. Now it's a different piece of the puzzle, right? There's things that you can find. I would advise you guys to use something called Property Radar. Now, this costs money, but there are other ways that you can look up properties. You can look up properties and find out who owns it, their phone number. Like, you can literally skip trace them. You can find out how much debt they have on the property. When they refinance, what do they buy the property at? So now you get a sense of, if I was in their shoes, what would move me? All right, that's the part about just collecting more information. Now you got another piece of the puzzle revealed to you, and can I create something win-win? Are they open to holding certain notes? Right? Most sellers of 9 units don't know that much. So what they're going to do is ask their broker. And because their brokers don't know anything, all they know is what goes on in the market. Typically, a broker will say, put 40 to 50% down. And then you finance the rest at market rates, 6.5% interest. Then what's the point of even going seller financing here? Right? All you're doing is trying to bypass the bank's criteria and buy a deal that the bank says it doesn't work. And you're going to try to make it work by putting a whole bunch of money down and getting an interest rate that's similar to the bank's. Right? You're like, I got no win here. This is not a win-win. This is a win-lose. And so here's 2 things you can do with the deal. You can go back and renegotiate. And if they don't want to negotiate, good. Don't be attached to it. It's real estate. Okay, don't get attached to your rental properties and things like that. It is a vehicle for you to create financial freedom. It isn't a place that you're going to live in, because just because it's a property that you're buying, you do not need to gauge it off of would I live there. Okay, there is there is one property I own that I would live in of all the investment properties I own. Okay, I wouldn't live in any of them because that's just not where I am in life. So don't compare where you want to live to your investment property. Right? So you don't want to attach to it. Now, after you've underwritten this, archive it. Create a spreadsheet and archive this deal. So you should have the name of the deal. Okay, you can name it or they'll name it. Purchase price, put as much information as you can on there. Purchase price, maybe even the date that you kind of underwrote this thing, and just make a little note of it. Okay, make a little note of why you didn't get the deal, whatever, and you archive this thing. Your archive list is something that you will, because maybe 8 months down the road, 10 months down the road, you're going to see the deal again, and it's going to say $2.6 million. They've dropped to 400,000. When you're like, dude, I would have made that deal with you then. Now that you've gone down further and the market's changed, okay, let's reassess this deal. You know they want to sell. Okay, now you see their motivation, right? Because they actually want to sell, and they got hit with some reality. All right, so now you go back with your notes, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember this deal. Let me go back to my notes, find out what happened there, and then you go back and say, hey, I see that, to the broker again. There's another opportunity to speak to a broker. Is, hey broker, I I see this deal's back on the market. Do you remember me? I don't be forgotten, right? So you always want to, when you make an impression, make an impression. Okay. And hey, you remember me? I was looking at this deal and I offered a bunch of different alternative ways to try to get it. You guys didn't want to do it. I see it's back on the market. What's the story? Like, do they really want to sell? Are they market sellers? Is this their firm price? Or what, right? At least inquire about it. So you hang around the rim on these deals by archiving the deals, right? Like I have folders on my computer, and I probably should clean it up more, which is just like deals, like so many deals. Like there's probably like 200 deals in a folder, and OMs, underwriting things that I have of it, and pictures and things like that. It's all archived in there. And that isn't only for you to hang around the rim, but that will also, each deal that you archive adds to your knowledge and your confidence. It's a gauge for yourself. So when you're underwriting deals, the amount of deals that you archive, you can use that as KPI, as the indicator, okay, of gauging where you are in real estate. If you got like 5 deals archived and you're like, shit, I haven't gotten into any deals yet, this sucks, I haven't gotten to opportunities. Well, 5 deals does not make you a worthy partner or an investor or whatever. But 1,000, you will speak differently. If you do 1,000 and you spoke to brokers 1,000 times, you will speak differently. Your energy, brokers will feel. Your confidence will exude out of you, and people will want you as their partners. All right. So underwriting is a journey of itself. People want to get into deals and be a part of a syndication, which is what we do in multifamily, larger multifamily. We put money together to buy an apartment because the apartment is better than the sum of its pieces. The sum of its pieces, is not as great as the apartment itself. So we put people together, get into a better asset, get better debt, and give people the ability to be passive, and have the most credible person, the person that should be operating the deal, right? I mean, if you and me, I mean, some of you guys maybe have more confidence in yourself, but if it was me or you to operate a deal, life or death, who would you have operate it? Right? If you truly kind of genuinely ask yourself that question. Now, if you're like me, like, if you say yourself, then good, do it. That's where you want to get to. But until then, in partnership, if you're going to go the route of underwriting and finding a deal for somebody, know that this is a journey that is long. You need to get real good at underwriting. You need to be better than the operator. If you underwrite 1,000 deals and talk to 1,000 brokers, okay, in the next year, okay, and I only, because of where I'm at, I don't talk to as many brokers anymore. Maybe I do, maybe I'm doing like 20. You will actually be further ahead than me, because in this market, you have way more experience. Right. So you do have something on me if you underwrite more deals than me. But it needs to be at a scale, like a lot more than me, where you've gotten a lot of confidence out of it. That just gives you more credibility to find a deal. Now, the other parts of the deal is operating a deal, right? Asset managing a deal, raising the capital for the deal, signing onto the deal. Like, can you sign on to the deal? Right? Those are all pieces of the puzzle for a deal to happen. You guys can participate in any part of it. That's a multifamily syndication part, right? So we have a deal in Vegas. It's an awesome deal. People can participate in different ways to be a part of our team. And either you get committed to our team with your time and energy and efforts, where I can see, okay, this person's committed, or you commit with your money and invest into our deal, and then be now closer into our inner circle. You're now a part of our investors. We have special calls on for our investors specifically on all the different deals, all actually together on one call. So you get to meet new people, listen to how deals are run, all of our other deals, and begin to tap in that way. Okay, because as an investor on the deal, you will still have some say. You will have my ear when you have a deal, when you want to, because I'm going to give you the time. You're not just like another number, right? So now there's all sorts of things. You be investor relations, and all these things are part of that, part of the deal. You have a lot of opportunities. Now, if you're just getting into real estate, just like, I just want to buy a deal, I just want to buy a single family, I just want to buy a 4-unit. Okay, it's the same process. You still got to underwrite the deal. You're going to be competing with a lot more people for the same property. So the chances of you buying a quadplex, a 4-unit, okay, let's say it's 250,000, and you think it's worth 210 per unit, okay, per unit, and you think it's 210 per unit, it's going to be hard for you to make any sort of negotiations, because you're playing in a pool that has way more people. 400 units, it's like this many people playing for it, right? Versus when you're looking at a 4-unit, is that many people. All right, because there's a very limited amount of people that can take this deal down. If a seller is going to sell, there's going to be 3 people probably going to best and finals, and they're going to see who can close, who do they think can close, or interview you, and then you can make your case, right? Maybe nobody bids on this thing. You're the only one negotiating with them, and they really need to sell. So you can actually negotiate. In these, it's harder in your regular 4-unit. So if you're like, I want to get into a 4-unit just so I can get my feet wet and it's small enough for me to do by myself, okay, do it. There's still it's nothing wrong. I think buying real estate, any real estate, is better than not buying any real estate. But you're going to learn very quickly that 4 units is not going to give you freedom. It's just not. Right? Like today or yesterday, we distributed money on one of our deals. And Nick Nick is 16, being like a little partner, a little piece of partner that I bring into all the deals. He gets 50,000. He gets $50 on that passive income, but it's passive. It just comes. Next month, if it's higher, he'll may get 70. You get 80. You get 100. He'll get money every month. Nick's making that. because he invested his time and energy to my business, to growing with me. And I told him I'll give him 10% of what I get and what I make on these deals. Right. So that the cash flow for my part in the general partner, not the limited partner. When my money goes in there, it's a separate entity. So what it'll look like is general partnership, general partners, and limited partners. This is passive. This is active. Okay. In our deals, we structure it 30% to the general partners and 70% to the limited partners. Can you do both, like contributing to the team, time, energy, and investing in the deal? Yes, so you can. Most of us general partners, most people that are general partners on our team, like the main general partners, have to put money into the deal unless you're doing something very specific that is like a task that I'm like, okay, you get to do. What we have done is we've given a small percentage to people that have been good and have demonstrated good people relationship type of thing, where you can do transaction coordinator. It's a job that anybody can learn, but if you're good with people and you're willing to put the time in and you're going to just help people go through the portals, things like that, and you earn a small percentage, you don't have to put money in. Not in our deal. But that's a position that everybody wants, though. Right. So how can you show that? How can you show the commitment? How can you show that you stand above? Why do you deserve it? And the first way is, if I don't know you, probably not even going to happen. If you're on our calls, if I see you all the time, like there are people on this call that I see all the time, I'm like, wow, this person's really committed to what we're doing. There must be something that I can do to serve this person. They're committed to me. They're committed to learning and to themselves. So I like that. Commitment already drives that. Right. Of course, the people on camera, I actually see it. People that have names. Sometimes people have been like, oh, I've been on your call like 10 times. I'm like, really? I didn't even know. Because there's no camera, there's no video, I don't see it. So if you're gonna be here, like be here in a way that's gonna serve yourself the best. At least have a good picture, right? Somebody Jennifer on here has, I think she's still here, but she used to have a picture that says "Will work for equity," and I see that everywhere, and every time I see it, like that's memorable, right? As long as you make yourself memorable, it's important. If you're gonna excel in this game, either be on camera or make yourself memorable, right? Like Jake's picture is a pretty memorable picture too. Okay, because you're literally Tom Cruise in this picture, and I'm playing Danger Zone, so I see it all the time. Where was I going with this thing? GPLP. So I'm over here. This is me, right? And then our investors are here. To this date, I have brought from our investor pool about a little bit ago was about 12 people. I don't know what that number exactly is at right now, but 12 people have stepped from limited partner to the general partnership. If you're on these calls, what I was saying was, if you're on these calls, yeah, more likely I will hear and look at your deals and support you and all that because I know you. Now, if you're an investor with us, that's first. Okay. Actually, the people in my mastermind is first. Like I hear their deals. I take everything to I give all the time that I have to that. And then if an investor comes with deals, I will definitely take the time to look at it, underwrite it, and share my opinions on it. But there's a lot of people that send me deals that I barely even know. I'm like, there's no commitments to each other. Like if you just want something from me, it's going to be harder, right? Because you're asking something of me and you haven't provided any value and you haven't shown up and I don't know your work ethic or anything. And you haven't shown any commitments to anything that I've been doing. It's harder for me to justify, doing that. And this is just natural, right? So yeah, this is kind of that way for getting into deals and being on our team. Go ahead, Jake. You got your hand up.
So you mentioned before
Wait,
about
hold on. Sorry. The reason why I wrote this was because when we put money into the deal as a general partner, if I put $100,000 into my deal, okay, I will get a percentage for putting this money in there as it's called risk capital. That means I can lose it. This none of the money in the beginning, the down payment, the inspections and whatever, none of those really comes from the investors. Investor money sits in a bank and just sits there. Okay. Our money goes into risk and we go into play. Now, once that is done, this money drops into the limited partner side. So I have an entity called Lovely Kingdom. That's my holdings company, okay, LLC. And then I have a management company. Let's just call it my management company. LL. It's actually an S Corp. Corp. All right. So I have two separate entities in the deal. When it's time to distribute, I am in here like a normal investor. Also, I get my management fee for running the deal and doing all the other stuff. So my money's in there and I'm running the deal. So I'm playing two roles. Okay. And that's kind of what you want to be prepared for if you're going to be a general partner. Like put money up. Okay. If you can't put money up, what's your superpower? Because if the next person says they'll put money up and they got the same skill sets as you, same experience, they win in overtime. Unless you could be super memorable and I just really, 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 really like you. And then might be different. Right. So it's a relationship game. And that's the multifamily side. If we want to talk about more single families and residentials, we can also do that. But you would need to raise your hand and let me know that's what we want to talk about here. Go ahead, Jake.
All right, so maybe a little bit higher level question here. So you mentioned before
Look at that.
about
2 months in, higher level questions. Okay, go ahead.
you mentioned about buying debt before, and is that involved when it comes to the GP side? Is that hard cash that's put down when you showed us before you showed us that table? Is that what that is? It's like when you put up the hard money line, essentially that hard cash. Is that part of buying the debt? Is that what that's involved into?
No. So the bank might let you buy down debt. If you give them some money up front, they'll let you're basically paying for the interest up front.
Yeah.
So that's during closing, like type of thing. Like you're negotiating with the what are you doing? Sorry. No, that's different. So when I say hard money, okay, not hard money line. This is not like gambling, but actually, you know what? It is kind of like gambling a little bit. But when you put hard money, when it says hard, that means the money went hard. It means you might not get it back. If the deal doesn't go through, there's a good chance that the seller is just going to keep it.
Okay. So say you overraise, which is, never a bad thing, I guess. Say you overraise on a deal and you want to buy, and they're like, hey, let's buy debt. Let's buy that first.
Yeah. So that's part of the strategy to create cash flow, because every dollar that you overraise decreases the cash on cash returns for the deal and the deal for the investors as a whole. So you have to determine how much do I need to overraise as a cushion, that can still give the investors, a 2x return or, decent cash flow. Those are all part of like an in-depth underwriting, not this part. This part is like, you're just determining if the deal is good, right? If the deal is good, the second part is when you go deeper and if the deal works for investors. Because then you're putting in the 70-30 split you're putting in the fees, you're putting in, how much money needs to be raised, and it'll look different every time. So these are all the pieces of the puzzle that as we go deeper, if people, get deeper into the conversations, which we do in our mastermind, is we go much deeper into these conversations. On this, if I went deep, I will lose everybody on this call. Nobody would know what's going on. Right. So I can keep it at the surface level because this is entry level. This is where people from my Instagram, people get referred in here. And, if you have somebody that you want them to learn the basics, you bring them to these calls. These are free calls. I want to get everybody at least interested in real estate and see, oh, it's really not that hard. Oh, I actually do think I can do it. Right. Because it's like second grade math. You can do second grade math. You can underwrite. You just need more information, more pieces of the puzzle. So good question. And if you want to go deeper with that, Jake, we'll bring it up on the Tuesday call, on our team call.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah. Who else? Anybody else have any questions and stuff? We have about 14 minutes left on this call. And yeah, hopefully by showing this, you guys, I keep it simple. Like some people may see this and be like, man, this is elementary. But hey, learn to teach to learn. Right. So who else? Anybody else have quick thing? What would be your suggestion on a calculator for analyzing a deal? I would, if you're new in this game, I would just do it on a piece of paper, and I would just use my iPhone calculator. I wouldn't really just rely on a machine or something, or AI, or, a calculator that's designed for you. I mean, they have it all over online. It's all the same. You put the numbers in and it spits something back out. But those are, you want to know the steps in which you're doing. Yeah, a template. That's interesting. I could probably, Nick, can you write this down for our Sunday call when we meet on the think tank call? Just I'll create like a sheet that at least just has something that's like the templates of what people should find, and the little quick definitions, things like that. That's a good thing that we can add into our beginner thing as well.
I'm gonna make a list of a checklist, a deal checklist.
Yeah, just a criteria, kind of like a deal analyzing checklist, something like that. That people can look at a sheet and be like, oh yeah, this is what I gotta find. Okay, based on what I went through today, and just I'll do that. Okay, great. Yeah, an Excel template. Yeah, something like that. I think we have a more complex one for multifamily also. That's a template where you enter a number and it's another thing pops up, but we don't really use it. It's just faster to do it on a sheet of paper, and it's better practice, I feel like. Now you can enter numbers, of course. I'm not the type that uses I'll get an underwriting checklist going, and I'll send it. That's a good idea. I'll send it out to the whole email list. All right. So Nick, just remind me on Sunday when we gather for our powwow sesh to do this for everybody. It's good to add into the underwriting beginner course too. Okay, go ahead, Javier. What's up?
Thank you. Hey, quick question. I heard you guys talking to Jake when you were kind of like taking a look to the cash flow. You said, I heard something like there was not too much interest in the cash flow, and I remember Grant Cardone saying that in A properties, like the cash flow is not like something that you are that interested, but in C properties, you may get a lot of cash flow. So I don't get really what is the thing of not paying attention too much to the cash flow? Is that something that makes sense, the question for you?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Usually a deal like the ones that Grant goes into, Class A deals, 3% cash returns for the investors. Okay. He says 6 or 7, but it's probably more like 3. Because it's Class A. Class A means it's expensive. It's expensive to operate, and cash flow somewhere around 3%, right? Cash flow. Now, your financial goals. This is what you got to know in the beginning: is my goals to create cash flow, right? If you're strapped for cash and you're trying to make moves in real estate, Class A and a deal with Grant might not be your best move, because you're not going to get you can get $3,000 per 100K that you invest a year in cash flow. Cash flow is the passive income that generates freedom. Okay. Now, typically, lower cap rates. So this goes back to that other question of cap rates and what they should be at. Lower cap rates equates to a higher quality product and location. Okay. And so it's going to be your newer buildings. It's going to be in a great location, lower cap rates. Okay. It means that you're not going to cash flow that well. However, if it's going to be way more stable, okay, you're not going to have that many problems. Your projections is probably going to be your projections. When it's time to increase rents, it's easier to increase on a Class A deal than a Class C. All right. Also, people in the Class A's will be paying their rents on time. You don't have you won't have as much problems as you would in a Class C building. Class C building, it may say 7 or 8% cash flow, but economically, after you look at it all, after the delinquencies and the bad debts and all of that, you may only be at a 5% cash flow, right? But the thinking here, your financial goal should be either, am I looking for passive income, or am I looking to preserve wealth? If I had $10 million liquid, put it into Grant Cardone's deals, right? Get $300,000 a year from my my $10 million. It's good. I know it's in a safe deal. It's the safest of the deals, and typically more experienced and bigger people operate the Class A deals. So I can trust to go in there more. Now, if you're looking for passive income, faster turnaround, 2x on your money, things like that, you're going to be looking for Class C, Class B type of deals, where it's run by a little bit less experienced operators, maybe like myself, right? Like I'm not saying I'm at Grant Cardone's level where I'm running these giant Class A buildings, but real estate is still great to invest in, and with my experience, I believe I can always, I can hit these numbers all the time. And, for now, there are Class B, Class C plus type of assets that we offer too, right? Okay. All right, Barbara. Great to see you. So you have to know your financial goals. Like, is it to preserve my wealth, or is it I need income? I need faster turnaround. I need to be in a deal that has higher cash flow, better income. Now, Class C and Class B deals, some of those are really, really great. That now depends on the operator. It depends on how they're operating the deal, right? Like we have a Class C storage facility that we repainted it. We've done a whole bunch of things. It looks really good. We have a Class A management company that we've negotiated to be in there. And this is why real estate is super fun, because we're creative. They said no to us because they're like, yeah, we're not managing that asset. It's not what we do. They're Class A. And we're like, we got $1 million in CapEx to do whatever renovations you guys deem fit. you know, to up it, to make it up to par. Also, we are focused on buying more storage deals. We want to include you guys in the searching and the analyzing of it, and we want to cut you guys in as partners in those deals, and you guys can manage it. Like, I was like, when we got the no, I was so down. I was like, I'm not taking no for an answer. Let's set up another call. We set up another call with them, you know, and the way that we found them was we went to walk and try to buy a Class A storage deal, and we found them as the managing company, and we're like, damn, they're super impressive. We need to have this company. We need them. And we were able to make it happen. You know, so now deals matter. Like, good deals can be run to the ground by a bad operator. And bad deals could become a great deal with a good operator. You know, now if it's in a crap location and there is no hope for this thing, then you're just going to get what you're going to get. Okay. You marry this deal, nobody's going to buy from you. And there's probably like a 20, it'll project a 20% cash flow on it and probably get like 10 and get shot at the same time. So that's just kind of like an overview, a high level view of just, you know, Class A, Class B, Class C, and, you know, understanding your own financial goals. And this is why it's so important. This is part of creating clarity before you get into it. So many people don't have clarity and just jump into deals and realize, man, this is way more work than I thought. Man, it's not giving me the returns that I want. Man, just a lot of different things because there was lack of clarity from the start. Yeah. You know, I know people that run Class D and make a lot of money. But I know that the person that's running Class D, he literally goes to his property with a gun strapped to him. And there's that type of people. You can make money. You can make money in real estate anyway. Doesn't everyone? Foti's going to his Class A deals with a gun strapped to him. What makes one a great operator? There's a lot of things. I mean, there's standard operating procedures that they have in place. There's the level of creativity, the commitment. You know, he goes to church with it. I missed you, Foti. Thanks for being here today. I'm always glad to see your name come up. Foti is like, you know, he's like, he's seen me come into the game in multifamily. He's seen what I've been creating and what I've done. You know, I feel like he's seen me grow up in this space.
Watched you grow out of diapers.
Yeah. Thanks for witnessing, brother. Does lower cap rate mean less equity? No, it does not mean less equity. It just means less cash flow. Lower cap rates, it does not mean less equity. Okay. It means that the cash flow versus the purchase price of the property will be lower. So as you guys saw before, the 6.7 cap, right, says that the net operating income on the deal is 201,000. Up here, where are we now? Wow, we did a lot of writing today. It's 201,000, and a 2 cap is 62,000. It just means the net operating income compared to the purchase price or the value is lower. And usually that means it's because the asset is greater. They demand a higher price for it. Class A, they want more money for the amount of income it generates. Class C, they want less money for the same amount of income that it generates. And rightly so, because it's not as nice of an asset. It doesn't have all the amenities and all that stuff. All right. So yeah, hopefully if this is becoming too high level, and now we're, you know, coming to the end of this call, you know, I always want to keep this call. Would you have time for a quick deal to underwrite? We're at the end of this call, so we can do it, maybe. And yeah, so Saturday, make sure you come on to the Saturday call. Maybe we have time to do that on the Saturday call. Okay, we'll give everybody like like script kind of for people to, say, hey, you got to at least have these types of numbers and things ready for the call. It's not like we're just doing an underwriting. It's we're going to be, still waiting how to get, tomorrow, I promise tomorrow, the link will be in there and everything you will have an invite to it. So yeah, Foti, we're creating a deal tank. So it's going to be fun. Oh, nice. I'm excited. I'm flying my mom into Vegas. So that's cool. Nick, put my calendar on there. For anybody to schedule a call with me. Wait, hold on. First of all, before you do that, how many people are in this call right now?
25.
Okay, that's fine. So put my calendar on there. Probably 4 or 5 of you guys will schedule a one-on-one, and we can, spend 15 to 20 minutes talking about any topic that you're interested in or whatever. All right. 621 to 624. Okay. Make sure you hit me up, Foti. I gotta take you out. Okay, wanna meet up, get dinner or something. Las Vegas. If anybody ends up in Las Vegas, hit me up.
We're gonna be at the National RIA Mid-Year Leadership Conference.
The
That's gonna
what?
be
The national what?
National RIA, the National Real Estate Investors Association
Oh yeah. I saw
Leadership,
something about that happening.
Conference, yeah, at the Planet Hollywood.
Planet Hollywood. Fun. Okay. Cool. This year I'm a little bit less focused on conferences. I'm focused on this online community that I'm building, which is going to be world shaking. But we will go to Brad's. We will probably go to Rod's, and the big ones. And I'm gonna go to some social media ones too.
Totally should do
VidCon.
that.
VidCon? Is it VidCon?
VidCon.
VidCon, yeah.
Vid,
Going.
like a VID.
Yeah, VidCon. VidCon. Okay.
Like
So
video.
I'm gonna be
but
going to
vid.
VidCon with all these teenagers and all these little kids and stuff probably. And it'll be fun. Okay, so for those of you guys that don't know, I mentor a lot of teens and I like working with teens. I just think it's fun. It's fun to work with them. All right. Thank you. Thank you all for joining me here tonight. I'll send out the stuff for Saturday and send out something for, and we'll get that underwriting checklist thing going. So hopefully today you guys were able to find, create maybe a little, as a result of underwriting some deals this week. Okay. Create your buy box, create your buy criterias, things that it should meet. And then let me know what that's like next Thursday on the call. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. So see you guys when I see you. And
Thank you
Foti,
so
I look
much,
forward
Alex.
to seeing you in Vegas.
Thank you, Alex.
All right. Thank you all for being
Appreciate
here.
it.
Later,
Good
Hawk.
night.
Later, Vlad. Later, Hector.
Thank you, Alex.
Hey, later, Alex.
All right. Take care,
Thank you,
everybody.
Alex. Thank you so
Mark.
much. Mike, see you soon.
See y'all later.